I'm Charlie Bright of Gold Derby, and today I'm speaking with Joel Crawford, the director of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, as part of our Meet the Experts film animation panel. First thing I wanted to ask was, what brought about the idea? Because the first Puss in Boots movie came out in 2011, I think it was. What brought about the idea of doing this movie over almost a decade after the first one was released?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for having me. It's great to see you again. You know, I don't think the studio's original plan was to release the next chapter of Puss in Boots over a decade later. But it was interesting because Puss in Boots is such a beloved character and really stole the show when he appeared in Shrek 2. And from the taking on a character that kind of beloved by fans all over, the studio really was being pretty picky of going, we got to make sure it's the right next story to kind of extend the Shrek universe and keep that going. And so there's been many really smart people over the years who've come and gone that have kind of found unique ingredients that as part of the Puss in Boots world. Actually, Guillermo del Toro was consulting on the first Puss in Boots and then even on the second one. And we were talking about that the other day, how this idea of Puss being on his last life was such a great nugget. And that's something that's actually resonated with me when I came onto the project. I think one of the things that really unlocked it was there's a huge story here to tell that expands not only the fun, adventure, swashbuckling of Puss in Boots, but also the depth. And that kind of nugget of an idea was Puss has burned through 8 of his 9 lives, and that's absurd. It's a fairy tale. That's like a perfect kind of fairy tale premise. But when you boil it down, he has 1 life, and we as human beings only have 1 life. And there's something really deep and special about that opportunity to take the absurdity and put it with the reality. And that was my kind of pitch to the studio of we could really, expand the look, the style, the tone of this next chapter of Puss in Boots.
When you talk about the look of it, one of the things that really struck me about the movie was how when there were fight scenes, it went from looking like computer animation to looking more like a comic book almost in the movements and the way and the style that it was done. How did you make those fight sequences look so much like that in this movie?
Yeah, it's honestly for me, and I think a lot of people here at DreamWorks, it's such an exciting time in animation where the studios are really embracing the different styles of what a feature animated movie can look like. And as you see with Bad Guys this year, it's awesome, like how Pierre's embraced this 2D kind of style. And for us, we took the premise of Puss is in this mindset of he's a larger than life hero who's kind of living like a rock star, and everything is kind of a fairy tale to him. So we wanted these action scenes to feel fantastical, not grounded in reality, and using animation techniques such as going to stepped animation, which is things being held for more than 1 frame, where CG, you're used to everything kind of being a little bit more grounded and being on 1 frame and smooth. It allowed for us to really push these poses that do remind you of a superhero. And we used it in that way to take the audience with Puss's kind of psyche of, I'm a fearless hero. You're just enjoying these action scenes, and they feel like choreographed and amazing and fun. And we'd use like stepped animation for that. And then when we wanted moments that are more grounded, when we want that contrast where he's realizing, wow, I have 1 life, we go to the animation on ones, and it's more smooth, and it's actually there's more reality in it. And so finding a way to go, we've expanded our toolbox, and we can really use that as our visual vocabulary to communicate with the audience.
The other thing that's so striking about this movie is, again, such a great cast. In addition to Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek coming back, you have people like Florence Pugh and Olivia Colman, Ray Winstone, and John Mulaney, and Gillen in it as well. Was there an actor or actress whose voice recording session was particularly enjoyable to direct?
Honestly, I have so much fun with the cast. This cast alone, I can't pick just one. And they're all each so unique. I'll give you having Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek reunite on screen is amazing. One thing that we realized is, we do our research. We really get into the psychology of these characters and make sure we know what we want when we're putting it in the script. But man, when we started recording with Antonio Banderas and Selma, they were they know the characters way better than we do. And one unique thing with them, they also are lifetime friends, Selma and Antonio. And so we'd be in sessions where they're not recording at the same time, but they know each other so well. Selma would be like, did Antonio do it this way? And she would almost do an impression of him. And so there's this amazing chemistry they just find that they really kind of elevate the material. And I'd say all of the cast found unique ways that, more than just bringing their amazing acting chops to this, they were great partners in finding the story. And like John Mulaney, so smart, quick, and hilarious. In one of our first conversations about this story, we were saying, this is like the good, the bad, and the ugly. You've got all these hardened, larger than life criminals who are after this ultimate fairy tale prize, in this case, the wishing star. And they all think, this one wish they can get is going to fix something in their life. And John very astutely said, and he plays Big Jack Horner, who's he's definitely the bad in the good, the bad, and the ugly. And John found such a kind of poetic thing he said, all these characters, Big Jack Horner included, are trying to fix what they think. They're trying to grab an external thing and fix an internal void. And they think that will make them happy. And from there on, all of the actors started to really tap into, you have all these broken people who think, if I just had this one thing, it'll fix my life. And in conversations with each of them, we found unique ways. We actually rewrote after we talked to them to find ways that their characters all pointed toward this thing of, they're chasing happiness. And there's this central idea of gratitude and appreciation that just rose to the top throughout that process, and is one of the powerful kind of themes in the movie. And really credit that to all of these actors. In addition, they all would make us laugh so much. We would improvise every time we were together and really just, see how far we can go, and go too far and then pull back. So it was such a fun process.
Well, Joel, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on our panel in just a little bit.
Absolutely. Thank you.